Today we will be talking about flying standby and what it actually means. Flying standby is a perk that we enjoy as airline employees. It's actually one of the major reasons why people do join the industry. It is essentially flying with little to no cost or fee at all.
In all, essentially what standby travel is that you would book a flight, you go to the airport, sit at the airport with the hopes of there being availability on the flight, right? If you book a flight from, let's say, New York to Accra, and you go to the airport and the flight is full or oversold, then it means you're not getting on. Or there's any weight imbalance restrictions, it means you're not getting on. Essentially, that's what it is. You book the flight, you go to the airport with the hopes that there will be available seats on the plane so you can get on. The reason why this makes sense in theory is that in the past, we're not flying as much as they do now. It was easier to non-ref or fly standby because a lot of people were not traveling. So chances of there being empty seats on the flights are higher. Compared to now, there are more flight attendants, there are more people flying, so it makes standby travel currently much more difficult.
There are three types. Traveling on your airline, which is typically free domestically. Z fare travel, which is when you travel on other airlines. Lastly is jump seating. I do have a video where I talk about flying standby in detail, so please check that out. I will leave it in the description box below so you can check it out, or I will leave the card right here so you can just hit that link and access it. I would start this conversation by debunking some myths. So one of the biggest myths is that people think that when we fly for 100% free, no cost at all. It is to an extent. As I said, with my airline, if I fly domestically, like from Florida to New York or from Florida to Seattle, it is free at no charge at all to anybody on my benefit and myself. However, if I do decide to travel internationally, like when I was traveling from the US to Ghana, I have to pay the taxes and fees. If you do fly Z also, I believe it's free up to 90%, so you pay 10% plus taxes and fees. So as you can see, it is not 100% free. However, compared to the actual fare price, it is relatively almost free. It is as low as it could possibly be. However, the other thing also to note is that sometimes it might not necessarily be the case. Also, the other thing to note is that depending on the airline you work for, you might not be able to add all your friends and family to your benefit, especially at the same time. You will not be able to add all of them at the same time. This is particularly important and something to take note of because with my airline, for example, as up until February this year, if you had a spouse, for example, you could not add your sibling. You can't add any and everybody, especially not at the same time.
We have to take note that these flight benefits are privileges, and you have to let your past riders or the people you add on your benefit understand that this is a privilege. And just as it's given to us, it can be taken away. If majority of us are messing up or giving our benefit to the wrong people who don't respect or regard this benefit, it can easily mess it up for all of us. So next thing we know, it's no longer a perk. Depending on the circumstances of standby travel, there might be some tax responsibilities that fall on the person who is giving you the benefit. In my case, I have a secondary companion. If they fly, it becomes imputed income, which means if they fly, whatever the value of their flight is, money-wise, will be added to my yearly earnings, which can potentially make or break what tax bracket I might fall into. Finally, take note that just because you know somebody that works with an airline does not necessarily mean that you're going to get free travel benefits, okay? Or you can travel for free. It's not that simple. Just because you have 4 or 5 siblings does not mean that they can all enjoy that benefit, at least not at the same time, which takes me back to the initial point that I made. But just keep in mind that just because you know somebody that works with an airline company does not necessarily mean that 1, you can get those free travel benefits, and 2, that you're entitled to them. So don't ask me. I ain't got it. The reason why most of the time people don't mess around with their benefits is because it's tied to our employment, guys. I personally am not willing to take that risk to just give my benefit to just anybody, anyone, and just anybody. Okay? I have to like trust you, and also understand that you have the ability to handle it. It's so painful and it's so disheartening when things go wrong. And if I don't know you or I don't trust you enough to be able to handle my benefits, I am not putting the future of my employment in nobody's hands. That's how serious it is. I wish they gave us like coupons and discount codes that we could just give out to just anybody and it wouldn't be tied to me. It's just a discount code that I can just give out. But that's not the case, at least with my airline, not now. So I'm not about to be out here risking my employment simply because somebody wants to fly for free. No, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. I'm not playing those games, okay? But that being said, This benefit really is a truly beneficial perk, and when it works out perfectly. However, if it ends up in the wrong hands, they can misuse it, which potentially puts your job at risk. So for me personally, I don't give out my benefits just to anybody. Like, no, I would rather purchase a ticket for you than to give you my benefits. That's how important or how critical it is for me, especially when it comes to my benefits. Like, I don't play those games. Thank you all for watching today's video. Subscribe if you have not done so. Like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.